Welcome to the Westeros Media Podcast, Lessons from the Ashes. We are here to tell the Phoenix Rising stories, coming up from the ashes to build businesses, to build personal brands, to parent, coming out, all of it. The stories of those who came from nothing and did great things. We all have a Phoenix Rising story, and I can't wait to hear yours. Join me every week for new podcast episodes. And of course, make sure you follow the show so that you never miss an episode. See you soon.
Hey everybody, I have a special surprise for you today. It is a masterclass that I recorded for the new year in January. But as most of you know, the new year for most of us feels like September. So I wanted to give it to you as a beautiful gift this September, almost September, as this week's podcast episode. So check it out, listen, and get some amazing tips on how to start this September or this new year if you feel like this is when you're starting fresh with a bang. I can't wait for you to check it out and definitely let me know what you thought. Hi everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to the Future You Masterclass. I'm really excited that you're here. I'm really excited that together we're going to be prepping to go into 2023 together. This is a big deal, a whole new year. It's a fresh start for so many people. Loads of people have huge goals and ambitions going into a new year. And I want to make sure that we are not only making goals and ideas that make sense for what we actually want to accomplish, but also that we're going to be doing something that we can actually accomplish and that we can actually make happen, so that when we're sitting here in December of 2023, hopefully together, that we can look back and be like, oh my gosh, look at all the things we did and look at how far we've come, and just really be in awe. I know that reflecting has been a huge part of my journey lately, especially coming up on a new year. When I look back at where I was this time last year and where I've come from, it makes me kind of emotional, because so much has changed for me and so much of my life has grown, and so many things have, become very different. I had a lot of goals going into 2022. In January, had a big list of all the things I wanted to do. And the reality is that almost none of them are what I hit. And let me tell you why. So most of my goals that I made at the end of 2022, at the end of 2021, going into 2022, they were all kind of built around being scared. I thought there's no way that I can handle this on my own. I thought there's no way that I can grow my business to the size or the impact that I want. I thought that there's no way that I can be a sober, sovereign mother while also accomplishing all these things. So I made really small goals for myself, not big enough at all. I was still, in a place where I thought, oh, I don't know if I can actually do all those things. And into the year, when I went and I started with some mentorship, and then I started just amplifying all the things I wanted to do, I started to make bigger goals. And those goals, I blasted those out of the water. But some of the things I had thought I wanted to focus on at the beginning of the year ended up not actually mattering to me. And I share this not because I want to justify that I didn't hit my goals or any of that. I share this because I'm super proud of how far I've come this year. And also, I didn't hit the goals. So permission to change your goals, permission to not have goals and just be like, listen, I just want to have a nicer life this year. Permission to also make goals that are a little smaller than maybe your heart knows you want, and then add things on as you go. January isn't some magic time. I mean, it's amazing that we get to start fresh. There's usually quite a bit of energy, but also it comes with a lot of regret for people. So many people start something and then fail. How many people do you know who 2 weeks into January, they have already given up on their New Year's resolution, and they're back to their own bullshit ways. How many people? All of us have done that, and all of us have watched family or friends do that same thing. It's like a running joke in society. I don't know why people are still setting all these big New Year's resolutions when you're pretty much destined to fail. So what I want to do here with the Future You Masterclass is set you up to not fail and not make resolutions, but make systems to help improve your life no matter where you end up going. And this is important because where I ended up is not at all where I thought. But I set systems in place for myself that helped improve my life no matter where I ended up. And that's what we're really going to be focusing on. Because you can make all the goals in the world. You can make 200 million goals. You could write them out every single day. You could have your mantras. You could have it up on a vision board, all of these things. But if you're not taking action that helps to better yourself and helps to reach any of these goals, then there is no point. You are wasting your time and your energy. So how are we going to actually reach these things? How are we going to actually set systems up? Well, that's what this entire day is all about. And I want to encourage you that it's okay to make goals. It's great to make goals. I have a lot of huge goals. Will I hit them all? I have no idea. Will I definitely get better along the journey? Absolutely. And this I know for sure because of the systems that I'm putting in place to get towards that. Loads of people have money goals. This is like one of the biggest things that I get is people, they want to hire me and they want to work with me because they're like, I want to make $10,000 a month. I want to make $20,000 a month. I want to make $100,000 a month, but I know something has to change to get there because I'm not there yet. And all they have is this big goal and then nowhere to go from it. So if we're talking about money goals, if we're talking about any kind of goal, what we need to focus on are the systems that we're going to put in place. So there's an amazing quote from James Clear, who has the book Atomic Habits, which I highly, highly, highly recommend for you to be reading. And it says that you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. When I first heard this quote, I was like, that's bullshit. My dreams are the only thing that's keeping me alive at this point, which is a little bit ridiculous. And also for me, it was true at the time. I had no idea how I was going to get to where I wanted, but in my head, I had this picture of a better life. And I was like, all I got to do is focus on that and I'm going to get there. So it got me to a certain point. It did. It helped me make some big decisions in my life. It helped me make some big, okay, I don't know the plan, but I am going to try this hard thing. It helped me do that. But my life didn't truly change on a day-to-day basis to something better until I started changing my systems. So when we say systems, people kind of blank out. They're like, what? Like, what does that mean? Like, am I going to have to write an SOP for this? Like, what's going on? No, what I mean by systems are the things that you do daily, weekly, consistently, the things that you do over and over and over again that get you towards where you want to go. So we all have systems right now. Every single thing that you do more than once in your life is some kind of system. We have a lot of good ones and we have a lot of bad ones. Think bad habits, right? Those are a system that you've set up and you continue to use over and over again. Whether or not it's a good idea, you do it. What we're trying to do is build these consistent habits, because what we need is for these things to help improve us. Either way, the time is going to pass. Either way, you're going to be doing something. So let's change it to something that's going to benefit you and help future you have a really amazing year and be able to look back and be like, I can't believe what all went down. So let's talk about some habits right now. I'd like you to get out a journal, your iPad, whatever you need to write down all of these things so that you can really focus and make sure that you do your homework on this. So every time I give you something to journal on, make sure you pause me and actually do this as we go. A lot of people like to listen to a masterclass and then not implement, and then that also is a waste of your time. So the first system you're starting this year is actually doing your homework for masterclasses. I said it, it's happening. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a notepad, your iPad, whatever, and I have 2 columns. And I want you to start writing down some of your habits. So we're going to categorize them into either maybe not good or bad, because, you know, that's pretty subjective, but helpful and unhelpful habits towards the future you want. So some examples under helpful. A helpful habit that you might have is working out. So every day you work out, or twice a week, or 4 times a week, whatever. That goes under helpful. It helps your mental health. It helps your physical health, all of those things. Unhelpful habit maybe is doom scrolling on your phone, right? You're sitting there in the evening or whatever, and you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and thinking about all the people who are doing it better than you. That's going to go on the unhelpful side of things. What else could be on your helpful side of things? Taking a walk, having a yoga practice, eating healthy food, spending time with your family, checking your emails at a certain time every day, always showing up to your recovery meetings, always being there for a friend who needs it. Anything that is helping you get towards a better life, that's something we're going to go on the positive side. Anything else? So there might be some things that you A, don't think are a habit, or B, don't know how to categorize. So maybe we have a middle ground. We have to really look at these things because that's where the sneaky time leaks of your life happen. So maybe you're like, well, that's not really a bad thing, is it? Social media, looking at you. So a lot of people, they're like, oh, I have to be on my phone 24/7 because I run a business on the internet. But what are you actually spending your time on? There are screen tracker apps that will give you a pretty hardcore reality kick in the pants of how much time you're actually spending on social media. And then I want you to look at, like, especially with social media, are you actually using that time to grow your business? Or are you doom scrolling, looking at things, just numbing out in general? Are you actually using it for what it's meant for? Or is it becoming kind of a vice situation? If it is, that's okay. We're not here to lay blame. This is not an exercise to make you feel like crap and then give up. This is an exercise to be brutally honest, because that's how we change. If we're super honest with ourselves and we go, okay, all right, haven't been doing this the best, but now I am committed to actually doing it, and off we go. We're going to make some changes. So social media, big one for that. Also, how are you spending your time in your evenings? A lot of people say that they are chronically tired and don't have the energy to run their business. So what are you actually spending your time in the evenings doing? Are you intentionally resting? Are you going to bed on time? Are you doing yoga nidra? What are you doing? Are you doing something that's productive, good rest for you to actually rest and rejuvenate? Or are you, again, just binging shows? Are you, I don't know. This is something you got to look at in your own life. I know that when I started switching from just mindless things, it's not that I never watch television anymore. It's just when I switched from spending my entire evenings from something mindless to intentional rest, a lot of things changed for me. And it helped me feel like I had more energy to do the things I wanted to. And then it just helped get rid of that sloggy, yucky feeling that I got from just binging and just looking at things and just being like, oh, look at all these people who are doing better than me. That kind of energy is not what we want to bring into this new year. So let's ditch that. Once you're done all this list, so make sure you're pausing and you're going over and you're making a detailed list. I want like at least 10 things on each side. And if you can't think of anything, like get really basic. So do you eat breakfast every morning? Good. Awesome. That is a good habit. Do you get your kids to school on time? Cool. That's good. Stick with that. Do you, eat junk food every single night? Maybe. Is that a bad habit for you or a good one? I don't know. Are you trying to gain weight? Are you trying to lose weight? Like, how's your relationship with food? These are the things that you have to know for yourself. This is why I'm not going to give you a list of what is good and what is bad, and why I don't think that we even need to label them that. What we need to actually do is look at, is this habit or this system benefiting the future me, or is it a detriment? That's all we're doing. We're not beating ourselves up. We're not going into a doom spiral. We're just looking. So pause me. Make sure you write that entire list out. Okay, welcome back. Glad you wrote that list. What we're going to do now is we are going to choose one thing to add to the good list and one thing to take off of the bad list. So we're not going to say I'm going to quit every single bad thing on the negative list. we're not, because that is, again, unsustainable. We'll quit 2 weeks in and then you won't be anywhere near your goals. And we're not going to add 20 things to the good list because, once again, not sustainable at all. So how are we going to choose what these things are? Well, we're going to have a little bit of a daydream time. We're going to get into the future you. So I want you to close your eyes. Let's take a deep breath together. Okay, let's think about the future you. Let's not think about what number you want to hit for income. Let's not think about how many clients you want to get. Let's not think about, what car you want to buy or whatever. Let's think about the future you. So you, 1 year from now, what is that person doing? Are they happy and satisfied with all the things they did this year? Are they proud of themselves for a big chance they took? Are they healthy and strong and fit? Are they a good friend? Are they a good parent? Do they feel satisfied with their business, or do they feel a little bit of ick factor, like, oh, there's some shit I need to tackle and some things I need to do, but I haven't done them yet? How does this person feel? Feel it out. Write it down. We're not talking goals yet. We're literally talking, how does this person feel? How does it feel to be them? If you can, for a little bit, imagine, okay, so future me is going to tell right now me, like, okay, look at all the things we did. Look at how far we came. Look at some big wins we had. Look at some hard times we had and how we managed them. Because for us to sit here at the beginning of a new year and think that only good vibes, only good things are going to happen this year, it's bullshit, folks. That's not true. I've had some of the highest highs and the lowest lows in the last year, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But I know that the systems I put in place are what helped me through the bad times, and they're what helped me enjoy the good times. So as we're thinking about this future you, let's start thinking about an actual full day of this person. So does this person go to the gym every day? Does this person go for a walk every day? Does this person listen to podcasts? Does this person record podcasts? Does this person onboard new amazing clients? Does this person have a team that does that? How is this person spending their day? And how are we going to break down what they do and make sure we're reaching that? So make sure you're making notes right now. The things I want to focus on are the daily things that this person does and the things they have in their life. So, okay, maybe this person has a really nice, clean house. Maybe the future you has a new vehicle. Maybe the future you has a sassy haircut. Maybe the future you is super fit. Maybe the future you has a big fat bank account. What are these things that the future you has after you figured out what they do? So we're going to tie these together, obviously, but I want you to pause and make notes. The first thing you're going to be doing is all these feels we're just feeling. How does this person feel? How are they approaching their day? And the second thing is, what are some of the things that this person has? You don't have to go crazy on this. You don't have to describe every detail of it, but I want you to actually kind of map out a little bit. Okay, so minimum 5 things that this person does and minimum 5 things that this person has. Now, pause and actually do your homework. I'll wait. Okay, I'm not going to actually wait. But I'm glad you paused and you did your homework. Okay, so now let's look at that first list you made of the things that you do and this list that your future person does. And let's see what's the same and what's not. So first of all, look and see if there's anything that you already do that future you does. Awesome. Let's put a big gold star or a check mark or something there. Next, we're going to look at the things that they don't do yet. So like I said, we're not going to pick 1,000 things. That isn't going to work because we're never going to achieve that and we're going to burn out. I want you to look at what you think right now are maybe the top 2 things that future you does that right now you have to start doing to get where you want to go. You might change your mind later. So in pencil or whatever, just mark which two things do you think are the most important. So does this person track their money every day? Does this person meet with their financial planner? Does this person do some kind of self-help every day? Does this person go to recovery every day? Does this person meditate every day? Which are the things that you think are going to get you to the right place? Now, once you've starred those or marked them, whatever, let's now look at the things that your future you has. So doesn't matter really what you made on the list. Let's say that one of your things was your future you has $20,000 in savings for just in case who knows what. Great goal. Love that for you. That's a good thing. But what would right now you have to start doing, and what would future you do every day to get you to that goal? We're not saying let's map out every single thing that has to happen on the way. What is a daily thing that future you would do? And maybe you don't know. When I first started making my own money, I had no idea. I literally was terrible with money for so many years. When I was married, we were paycheck to paycheck every single month, the entire time. I had no idea how to take care of my money. If you would have told me that my goal was to be financially independent and have a big fat savings account, I literally couldn't have told you what to do to get there. So this step might take some research. This might take you pausing this video and doing a little bit of research. This might take you going to your bank and saying, listen, I have a goal that I want to be financially independent and I want a savings account. Do you have someone who can help me? Or what do you think my first step should be? This might be any manner of these things. And if it feels scary to start, especially around finances and business growth, people get so emotional about it. And it becomes a paralysis situation. For me, absolutely it did. I just thought, oh my God, I'm never going to get there. I'm just going to panic. I'm going to freak out and I'm just going to not look at it. Nope. I just was like, I like even seeing the app on my phone made me like, because I was like, no, I can't look at my money. So I took the first little step of being like, I'm going to track my money every day. Even if it doesn't change, I'm going to look at it every single day. So what I did is every single day I open my bank account app and I look, okay, what are we at? Good or bad, what are we at? And I also track all the income that comes in, everything. Gifts, everything. So somebody gives me $10 on the street, that never happens, but if it did, I put that on there. If I make money in my business, if I make money personally, if I get something back from the government, anything. I started with this because I knew that if I was like, I'm going to save $20 every day, that wasn't going to happen. I had terrible money habits. So jumping straight to that wouldn't happen. But I knew that one little system I could set up was just taking a deep breath and honestly looking at it. So what I do is every single day still, I honestly look, okay, all of my different bank accounts, like I have a personal one, a business one, and an investment one now. I just look at them. Okay. Sometimes I have a big emotional reaction, good or bad. Sometimes I don't. But I'm just getting myself used to it. Okay, we look at the money and then we track everything. So this helps with gratitude also, but it just helps me be honest. I never have to be like, I wonder how much is in the bank. Can I buy this? Because I know. And maybe for you, it's the opposite. Maybe you've been obsessed with your money and you need to give yourself a little break about it. Maybe for you, it's health. Maybe you're like, okay, I really need to get healthier, but I don't know where to start. Maybe every day it's just being like, okay, what's the healthier option in this moment? When I used to have a lot of trouble with food and eating disorders and stuff at a younger age, tracking food was like my nemesis. I was like, I got so torn up in it. And I decided that I was going to ditch all that and just be like, okay, what's the healthier choice right now? And that wasn't always the lower calorie thing. That meant What is healthier for my mind and my body right now? Is it healthier for my mind and my body to do a hardcore workout right now, or to just go on a walk and celebrate myself? Is it healthier for me right now to choose the low carb salad option, or is it healthier for me to just be like, you know what? My body really wants some nice carbs, and I'm going to just do that. This is so personal, and this is why I can't tell you exactly what to do. But what I can tell you is these little incremental things are going to make the difference. So let's take one of these goals and let's break it down to much smaller than you think. So maybe you're like, no, future me would work out every day. But if you haven't been working out every day, that might be too big of a leap. And I know you don't want to hear that because you want to be like, I'm the kind of person who works out every day. I need to be that person. Okay. But to get there, maybe you're the kind of person who every single day does one physical thing. Okay, so maybe it's not going to the gym. Maybe every day you get your heart rate up a little. Or maybe every day you hit your 10,000 steps. Or maybe every day you go for a walk and get some fresh air. Even if you don't sweat, even if you don't get your heart rate maxed out. This was a hard thing for me because I'm a little bit of an extremist. I don't know if you can tell. But for me, I was like, if I don't drip sweat and get my heart rate to 7,000, then it wasn't a good workout. And that's just bullshit. When I started to learn to care for my body and actually do the things it needed, not just the things that I thought would make it skinnier, then my whole health perspective changed. And my whole body changed and my whole mind changed. But it has to be something small enough that you can actually do and a system you put in place. So we're going to talk more about how these systems actually get in place after this. So if we've got some examples for money, we've got some examples for health, what about business? So social media, maybe you think I have to post 3 times every single day to get the clients I want. Okay, but if right now you're posting once a month, that's not feasible. You're not going to do that. I know damn well you're not going to, because one of my specialties is doing social media challenges with people who think they should be posting more and they don't. They go through the challenge, they kick ass, they're super excited, and then they're like, oh, they're back to their own show bullshit again, over and over again. I got something for you later. Don't worry. But what is a system you can put in place that you know you're going to do? So lots of times with these people, what I say is, okay, every single day you're going to share something in your stories. Doesn't matter if it's you, doesn't matter if it's a program you offer, doesn't matter if it's a reshare, something you think your ideal client will like. Every day you're going to say something to your ideal client. And then it starts to snowball. They start to post more, they get more ideas, they get some interaction back and forth, and then it feels less yucky. All of these things, they start to snowball and they start to get better and better and better. Same with the health thing, right? You go for one walk and then you feel better and then you want to eat something healthy and then you feel better and then you want to do more things, right? Same with the money. You look at your bank account every day and it feels weird and scary at first, but then you start to track what comes in and you think, I really do make more than I thought. Or, wow, isn't this so great that I make this money? Or, I'm so fucking grateful that I have a consistent job that pays me every 2 weeks. Or whatever it is. These incremental changes are the things that are going to change your mind. And everyone says, I just need a mindset shift. How the fuck do you change your mind if it's December and it's dark and it's scary and you don't have the money you want and everything sucks and you're scared and it didn't work out last year, so how the hell are you going to make it work this year? How are you going to change your mind in that? How? Tell me. What you're going to do is you're going to change one little system and then that's going to help change your mind. That's how we do this. So once we've picked one area that we're going to focus on, and you can come back to this, once you feel like you've gotten in your groove with one of these, then we're going to circle back and look at these things. Like I want you to replay this at the beginning of every month and be like, okay, what's one more thing I can tackle? And maybe you didn't complete the first one, so you're going to just focus on that. But once we picked something, then we're going to figure out how to make it a system. So, well, let's use the money thing as an example. So your goal, your big, hairy, audacious, crazy goal is to make $10,000 a month and have $20,000 in savings. Okay. So you know that if you write down on your list that you need to save $200 a month. That's probably not going to happen because right now you're paycheck to paycheck. And if you had $200 sitting somewhere, you would use it for something, right? A lot of people who have bad money problems, even if you could save that money, you're going to end up using it for something. Like, we know how this works, right? So what are we going to do to start small? If we are saying, okay, the thing that I'm going to choose is Stephanie's example, and I'm going to write down all my money that comes in. Okay, so how are we going to make a system? First of all, we need to make it easy. It has to be something that is easy to do so that you actually will do it. Lots of times people suggest replacing it with something else. So if you're already taking away one thing and adding in another, sometimes we can swap those, especially if it's something you do every single day. So if maybe every morning you go and buy something from Starbucks and you say, okay, part of the things I want to do is not eat out as much, and I also want to track my money. So maybe instead of going to Starbucks and getting two things, you go to Starbucks, you get one thing, and then in the parking lot, you add to your money list of all the money you made, and you look at your money apps. Starting small, right? Or maybe what you do is every morning when you do your regular journaling or whatever it is, you add something to that list. What I have on my daily journals, and if you want access to these journals entries or the pages that I make, send me a DM because I have those for you if you want. But what I do is I'm going to show you here because it's going to help. Hopefully my little blur of the background thing will work here. Okay, so that's not going to work at all. I'm going to share you a screenshot after. Basically what I have is I have a list that I've added to my daily journaling. So I've been journaling for years. It's a great practice for me. It helps me keep data of where I've been. That's a huge thing for me, being able to look back and be like, okay, look at how much I've grown. It also really, really helps me like get my head in the right system for today. Be like, okay, what do we have to do today? I like jot down all the things that I have to do today, my things that I need to focus on for social media, all of this. I get it out of my buzzy head in the morning so that I can like be present with my kids, get them off to school, and it's not all floating around. I'm like, I've nailed it to the page so that I can come back to it when it's working hours. So when I really wanted to focus on my money, growing my money, getting better with my money, not being the kind of guy who spends all their money before payday, especially when I wasn't going to be having consistent paydays with a business, I was like, some shit's got to change. What are we going to do? So I added onto my list every single day, I write down my gratitude of all the things I'm grateful for, my money goals, my super big long-term vision goals, and then actions that I'm going to take. So I'm not going to say every single thing that I'm going to do. All I'm doing is saying, I'm starting with gratitude always, because I'm like, okay, I'm grateful for what I have. This tracking the money also has been really helpful for this because it can make me stop and think, oh, wow, okay, so maybe it was a little bit here and a little bit here, but it really adds up. And I'm really proud of myself for all the different ways I've learned to make money. I'm really proud of myself for all the ways that, I've learned to manage my money. I'm really like grateful for all the ways that like unexpected things come in. So gratitude, tracking, whatever you got to do to get in that feeling of like, okay, yeah, you're right. Like some progress is being made. If all you do is once you've paid your bills at the end of the month, you look and be like, there's nothing left, then that's not going to help you do better. But if every single thing that comes in, you write it down, you're like, but look at all the stuff that is coming in. It's going to help shift your mindset. So I piggybacked this onto a habit I already have. So we talked about the Starbucks option first, like maybe you swap something or maybe you piggyback. So for me, piggybacking has worked really well because I didn't have any big glaring things that I was willing to give up to swap out for. So piggybacking for me works really good. And I just know myself by now, so it just works for me. And as I've added new mindset things like meditation has been a new thing for me this year. I've piggybacked that onto my journaling. And also with working out, now I have added like my workout time. First I work out in the morning and then I do my journaling and then I do my meditation. And because there's like a little system my brain likes that. And I'm like, hey, boop, boop, boop. We do our things and then off we go. I get up on time. So all 3 things can be done. And then I'm starting my day with 3 things I've already done to help future Stephanie. So as I go into the new year, I'm going to switch up how I organize my journal, because I have it on my iPad, because, you know, I'm OCD like that and I love it. And it's so pretty and it's like nicely laid out. Anyways, I'm going to switch mine up so that the things I'm like, my journal prompts that I give myself are mirroring what I want to accomplish this year. So this year, I also want to definitely add in some like wins, like how I'm going to celebrate myself, because I had so many intense, hardcore things happen last year that I blew past some pretty big milestones without like actually celebrating myself. So I'm going to be adding that into mine. All I'm doing is piggybacking it onto something I already do. So if you're feeling like, wow, I'm a lazy slob, or my life is so frazzled, I have nothing to add this onto. Okay, there's got to be something you do every day. Maybe it's shower. So can you listen to a money podcast while you're putting on lotion after your shower? I don't know. I have waterproof headphones, like earbuds, and sometimes I listen to Mel Robbins while I'm having a shower. It's like, that chick is sassy, and she's always got like some good nugget of something. And that really just helps me be like, yeah, rev, I can do this. So even if you think, I don't have a habit I can feedback onto, you probably do. So eating breakfast, what can you do during breakfast? Maybe instead of like scrolling on Instagram, you can get a piece of paper, even if your kids are there, and you can all write something you're grateful for. Or you can all write a goal, or you can track out, maybe you don't like all the online things like me, and you're not obsessed with your iPad. Maybe you have just a little notebook, and every morning when you're making your coffee or you're eating your breakfast, you open your app, you look, and you write down any new money that came in. Or maybe you just write down the number. What do you have? Even if you don't go back and look at any of this, what we're trying to do is build a habit and tagging it on to something else. This little piggyback system works super splendidly because it just adds it on to something you do. I also have some like apps that are habit trackers that work for me. Sometimes I forget about them. It's going to be a little bit of like finding what works for you. So those 2 ways that we talked about, replacing something or piggybacking it on. The other thing we can do is a time. So this works a lot better if you have a preset schedule. For me, this doesn't work super great because I have a pretty varied schedule. Sometimes I have shoots that are like right in the morning. Sometimes I have shoots in the evening. Sometimes I have master classes. Like a lot, my kids are sick and home. So this doesn't work as great for me. But if you're the kind of person, at whatever, 9:01, you're at your desk and that's when you're going to do this, that, and the other thing, maybe that's a great thing for you. So maybe look into what you already do. Maybe you get down at your desk and what's the first thing you do? Open your email, check your email, or check your messages, or write out in your day planner what you're going to do today. Whatever it is, what is that thing that you do first? So maybe we piggyback one of these things onto that. So maybe if we're going to stick with the money example, maybe I sit down at my desk every morning and I check my emails. So what if you put a little reminder on your background of your computer that says, track your money? And then before you even open your email every morning, you just do that for 5 seconds and then you're done. What we're doing is we're adding things onto each other so that we actually do them. And timing, like if you know that then at 9:01 every single day you're going to do it. Or maybe you put a reminder in your phone. Maybe you usually have lunch at noon anyways, so that's when you're like ready for a break. Maybe you put a reminder in your phone, it pops up and it says, track your money. And then you do that quickly and then you're done. Or maybe it says, pops up and goes, go for a walk. Or maybe, I don't know, take your vitamins. Whatever your thing is that you want to change, how are we going to set it up so that you remember and so that you actually do it? Because the worst thing is when you're like, I'm going to do this thing, and then you don't and you feel like crap about it. But the more that you build the trust with yourself that you actually follow through, this has been humongous for me. And I didn't realize how important it was until I started actually doing it. And in the past, I would have been like, whatever, like stop talking about this. It does not matter. And I blew people off who talked about this, but this is very important. Keeping your promises to yourself is probably the most impactful thing you can do. And what I mean by keeping your promises to yourself, they can be big promises, they can be little promises. Maybe your promise to yourself is, I'm going to get healthy. Maybe your promise to yourself is, I'm going to do this one little system that Stephanie suggests. Maybe your promise to yourself is, I'm going to leave my marriage. Maybe your promise to yourself is, I'm going to set myself up for retirement. Maybe your promise to yourself is, I'm going to save for my kids to go to college. It doesn't really matter what it is. What matters is that you keep that promise to yourself. And how do you keep that promise to yourself? By doing these things. Every time you do something towards your goal or towards this promise to yourself, it's like filling up this big piggy bank of all times that you have been self-loyal. And every time you don't, it's like pulling the plug and letting all those things rush out. And this was really hard for me. It was really, really hard because for a long time I numbed out. I didn't do the self-loyal thing. I wasn't able to admit so many things to myself. I blamed other people. This was a huge part of my money journey too, is that I blamed everything on my ex. I was like, all of my money problems are because of him. And then when I had my own money and no one to blame, I was like, oh shit, it's me. I'm the problem. But being able to actually keep little promises to myself, being able to say that like for more than a year now, I have every single day looked at and tracked my money, looked it in the face, no more hiding, no more pretending it's not there. I've actually done it. Same with social media. I'm like, I am committing to being somebody who shows up every day for my business. I have a letterboard in my room that says suit up and show up. And it has been my mantra for myself because I'm like, even when I don't feel like it, even when it's not the perfect conditions, because spoiler alert, it never, ever is. This is what I do. I suit up and I show up. And it's different. Some days I'm sparkly and I want to like go live and like be like so cute and sassy. Other times I am not feeling that way. I look like a bag of shit. I feel like a bag of shit. So I'm sitting there and I'm writing out text things instead. But my commitment to myself was that I was going to suit up and show up every single day. And I have. And now I've built this amazing, like, if you look at my Instagram, that you could scroll for days and see me showing myself and what I do. And not only is it an amazing platform for prospective clients, but it shows my clients, my future clients, my past clients, that I'm consistent and that I'm not going anywhere. It proves to them and to me that I am committed to this business and I'm not going to just flake out and like be like here one day and gone the next. All of these times that you commit to yourself and you commit to your growing and you continue on, every single time you get to vote for the person you're going to be. And I definitely suggest that you read Atomic Habits because he talks about this a lot. He's like, every good action you do is a vote for the person you're going to be. Instead of being like, oh, I want to make $10 million, whatever. I don't know if that's your goal. But how about instead you say, I'm a person who's good with money. So what would a person who's good with money do? They would do these little steps. So that was a slight bit of an aside. But the more you can be loyal to yourself, the more that this is going to come through, the easier it gets. It's like a snowball. And you can snowball good or snowball bad. So you can snowball in the way that, okay, I'm being self-loyal. I'm doing the things. I'm keeping my promises to myself. I'm doing the small things. And then it's easier to add more and grow more. Or you can go the other way. And you can be like, oh, I skipped my workout today. Oh, now I skipped it for a week. Oh, now I skipped it for an entire year. Oh, I'm the worst. And I hate myself. I'm just going to eat potato chips and cry. Like, it can snowball both ways. So what we're trying to do is not like blast through and change everything at once. What we're trying to do is put your systems in place. So now we've talked about what the goal is. We've talked about what one system is that we can change and how to piggyback it onto something or replace it or add a time to it so we actually do it. Now that we've actually done this, we're going to relook at these goals that we looked at the beginning. So if the person you want to be Maybe you have 3 big things and you're like, I really do need to tackle all of these things. Is there something that future you does that benefits all of these? Because that's where we're going to start. That's the one thing you're going to put on. And that is where we are going to absolutely put our focus. So maybe future you has a booming business. Maybe future you is great with money. Maybe future you is super healthy. So what is one thing that can benefit all of these? So maybe you choose something like meditation. That can benefit all parts of your life. Maybe you choose something like journaling. Maybe you choose something like going for a walk and listening to a money education podcast, right? You're moving your body, you're relaxing your nervous system, and you're learning something all at once. Maybe you commit to joining Brand Foundations, which is a program I have that every single month we do a masterclass like this, and you're committing to your learning. Done. I marked it off the list. I know that every month there's going to be something I can learn, and that's another vote for the person I'm going to be. So once we've chosen the one thing, now we have to look at the other list. Oh no, what are we going to take away? This one is harder for people. This one is harder for me, and permission to waver back and forth. So a big energy leak that I found for myself was just like numbing out and scrolling at night. This is something I tackled kind of at the beginning of last year. I had Instagram, I had TikTok, I had all the things, like just the things where you can like, without thinking, just go and go and go. And then you look up and it's been an hour, right? Like, what a waste of my precious life. And it also brought in a lot of comparison for me. It brought in a lot of like, just meh. Afterwards, I would kind of feel like, like I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel like a good person now. Like it just, maybe for you, it's not that. Maybe for you, it's like going and shopping and spending all your money at the mall. Maybe for you, it's, I don't know, like binging on junk food every single evening. I don't know, whatever it is for you. Let's pick the one thing that's like your sorest spot and not in the way that society says. So let's pick the thing that makes you feel the yuckiest after. And it doesn't really matter. Like maybe you are like, yeah, okay, the scrolling makes me feel like shit, but the potato chips, we're keeping those. Those are good for my soul. Cool. Give her. I fucking love potato chips. But what we're doing is we're picking the one thing that makes you feel the least like that future you. Like what is the one thing that if future you is looking and being like, dude, cut that shit out. That's the thing we're going to cut out. So again, when we're building the system, we talked about how to add a system, but how the heck do you take one away? Especially if it's a bad habit you've had for freaking ever. Okay, so let's start again at the top of the list. Replace it with something else. So if your mindless scrolling is in the evening, you finally have some quiet time. Okay, what are you going to do instead? Maybe read a book. Maybe you are going to, I don't know, take up a hobby. Maybe you're going to draw. Maybe you're going to go for a walk. Maybe you're going to do a nighttime yoga. I don't know. Whatever it is, let's replace it with something so that you're not just sitting there like, because your natural tendency to do that thing that makes you feel better in the slight moment is going to take over every single time. You're not going to like with motivation or willpower win this one. We got to make a system that you can stick to that will keep it out. So for me, the scrolling, one thing that I did was I put a screen time timer on my phone. So right in the app of TikTok, you can like do this where it like basically if you've been on there for 15 minutes, it like bings up and it goes, dude, time to take a break. Or you can do that in general on your phone. I also have a nighttime mode on my phone. So as soon as it hits 8 o'clock, it like goes bing, bing, bing into nighttime mode. And then certain apps, I don't get at. And this really helps me like shut off, especially if you're running a business and the social media thing is one of your big things. It can feel like you need to be there all the time. Like, well, what if somebody messages me about my business? I can't not be on the internet. Okay, but how much of that time are you actually talking to clients? And also you're allowed to have office hours. Like the stores aren't open 24/7. So just answer them tomorrow, right? Your mental health and how you're going to like tackle your day is way more important than if somebody gets an answer at 10 p.m. Like I used to be so insane about this. I turned off notifications on everything except for text messages and phone calls on my phone because I don't want the notifications. I don't want to ruin whatever flow state I'm in, doing my work with the limited time I have, to be interrupted by whatever app wants me to jump on there and waste my time. And this is hard, especially if you're like, people want to think they're not addicted to their phone, but people are. So many people are. And what we need to do is like take the control back, right? So maybe your thing isn't the phone. Maybe it's eating. Maybe it's bitching about your spouse. I don't know. Whatever it is, let's replace it. So replace it with reading. Replace it with meditating. Replace it with just sitting there. Replace it with like, I started making tea in the evening. I was like, oh my God, I'm my mother. But it's like a little ritual that I have now instead. And like, it's not like the tea takes over as much time as the scrolling did. It's just, it puts a new thing there in that time for me so I can do something else. So again, with the reminders, that can help, like same as how we talked about having a set time for something. Maybe your bedtime is always, I don't know, at a certain time. I don't know, when do people go to bed? I go to bed really early, really early. I'm always tired. I have 3 kids in the business, so I'm like 8:30, my ass is in bed. Anyways, so maybe your bedtime is 9 o'clock, which like be crazy. And then okay, I'm gonna put a reminder on my phone at 9 o'clock to make tea. And maybe you're like, do I need the tea? Is it about the tea? No, it's not about the tea. It's about stopping yourself from doing something you were doing before and rerouting your brain to something different. That's all we're doing. We're like going, breaks. Oh, we're making tea now. Okay, now I'm not in the same groove that I've been in for the last 10 years. Now I'm going to do something different. So we can replace something, we can put a reminder, we can make a set time, all of these things. And you're going to realize as you go through this, what works for you and what doesn't. So some of these things might not work for you. Some of these things you're like, no, Stephanie, that does not work for me. And you're going to find what does. But the thing is we're going to be consistently doing this thing. And then once it's a complete habit, then we tackle the next thing. Instead of being like, these are my 20 things, we're going to do one at a time. And you have the replay to this. So come back and look at it, maybe at the beginning of every month, or maybe when something is so automatic, you're like, oh, I forgot that I do that. Then it's time for the next thing. I know this has been a lot. I don't have a timer on. I don't know how long I've been chatting, but this is how we make true change. The incremental little things, the small stuff that we do over and over again, interrupting our brain from doing what we've always done so that we can get something new, because everyone knows that. Everyone knows you have to do something different to get something new. But lots of people are lost on how do we actually do that? This is how. We're going to add one thing and we're going to take one thing away. And we're going to actually make some major change for our lives.
Hey, I'm Stephanie Rose, and I am the host of the Westrose Media podcast, Lessons from the Ashes. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and on Threads and on TikTok and all the places. My handle is @Westrose Media. Check out my website too. There are so many resources for people just like you, people who are climbing out of the ashes, ready to make a new life. I got you, babe. Make sure you follow along. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. That way you never miss an episode and I can keep doing the magic. I can't wait to keep going. Let's get into it.